Just last month, SoFi and SS&C Technologies announced their intent to create nearly 500 jobs in the Jacksonville area. They're both based in San Francisco. So we want to continue to encourage these types of businesses to invest in Florida. As you know here, we have a number of great businesses that have moved into Jacksonville over the years. Many of them are represented up here. The thing that I really impressed upon me as I started early on trying to recruit businesses, I met with CEOs from some of the biggest financial institutions in the world discussing Florida's advantages, taxes, weather, all these things. And they obviously appreciated that. But the number one thing I think people are looking for is workforce development, making sure that we have folks who are going to be able to participate in what's a really dynamic aspect of the economy. So, and the thing about it is, with financial technology, even the most old school banks that have been around for decades and decades, in some respects are now technology firms. Then you have some of the more upstarts, which are really growing purely out of technology. So there's a lot going on, and I think that there's a lot of opportunity. So I'm going to make a couple of announcements today, which I think will be important. Today, I'm going to launch a process where we're going to have a partnership between our state colleges, the financial technology companies here, perhaps our universities, to provide workforce training to help prepare our students for jobs in this emerging industry. I'm directing Enterprise Florida and the Department of Economic Opportunity to conduct an expedited review of all job growth grant fund applicants who are seeking to provide workforce training relevant to the financial technology industry. And we really conceive of these to be potentially like FinTech academies. Jacksonville is obviously a natural place for that, but I think you look at Tampa, Miami, there's other places around the state that we can do as well. And I think that not only will be beneficial, I think it sends a signal to people who may want to invest in Florida that we're taking workforce very seriously. And then what will happen is, as you create an even better talent pool in all these different areas, really all the businesses will be able to benefit from that. I want to thank Jimmy Petronis, our CFO, for being here, and also representatives from the Office of Financial Regulation, because the second initiative that we're doing is, when you look at financial technology, it is something that there's a rapid development, and kind of the old regulatory regimes may not necessarily contemplate some of what's happening in terms of innovation. And so what we're going to do is have a legislative proposal for this legislative session to create what's called a regulatory sandbox for FinTech companies in Florida. And by that we mean creating an environment where companies that disrupt the status quo are allowed to exist with more flexible regulatory requirements. We think that that's important, that these technologies be welcomed and fostered rather than be suffocated. And so this will seek to ease some of the outdated regulatory burdens for innovators in the financial services technology sector in ways that are not contemplated in our current regulations, and provide them with the ability to test a product's market viability without extensive regulatory hurdles. Through this initiative, we can encourage innovation in Florida while ensuring appropriate consumer protections are in place. And in the meantime, the OFR will continue its practice of issuing declaratory statements whenever possible to provide regulatory clarity on existing law and resolve questions that may arise. Finally, I'm pleased to announce that the Office of Financial Regulation is a signatory to the American Consumer Financial Innovation Network, ACFIN. This is led by the Bureau of Consumer Financial Protection. The purpose is to facilitate consumer-driven innovation in markets for financial products and services through increased coordination among federal and state officials. Will be joining Arizona, Utah, Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, and Indiana in an effort to share information and coordinate in the development of innovative policies governing financial technology products. We want to welcome these innovative companies. You see throughout Florida, if you look at the Space Coast, all that's happening with aerospace and commercial space. You look down in South Florida, you have some great things happening in technology. I think a place like Jacksonville is tailor-made to take the financial technology sector to the next level. So it's an honor for me to be here to make those announcements. We're going to be moving forward on our Job Growth Grant Fund to try to get these FinTech academies up and running. And then we'll also look forward to submitting the legislative proposal when the legislature reconvenes in January.